All right, Shalom. This is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix Camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in true sincerity. Jeremiah to lesson. This is Ezekiel 9 and 4, and basically this is the Most High talking to an angel of judgment. And this is Ezekiel pretty much having a vision of that. So let's get the scripture, Ezekiel 9 and 4. The Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set, let's get that footnote for the word set, put a mark. Let's get that word for mark. It says, Tav, a mark with implication, desired mark is a sign exemption from judgment. So a special mark, meaning that those men that the angel was told to put a mark on or a notice upon, those men were going to be exempt from the judgment that's going to take place upon the earth. It says, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And those men are going to be the elect. And that sighing and crying goes into moaning, complaining, being vexed with the sinfulness of this world, the imbalances, the injustices of this world. The things of not being in proper order of this world. We cry against that, man. It vexes us. Sometimes you have literal tears because of the imbalances and injustices and the unfairness that we have to go through being in this captivity and witnessing the wickedness of these people, man. And seeing how it affects your family members, how it affects, how your children got to be around this. It's very vexing, man. So we groan and complain and moan, and to the Most High, we sigh and cry. We sigh and cry because we're not with it, man. Scriptures talk about like Lot, 2 Peter 2 and 7, because that's always a good scripture to go with this verse right here. Let's go ahead and get that. This is 2 Peter 2 and 7, Salak. And it says, so Lot, he wasn't with the abominations of the world around him. He was a just man in the midst of wickedness. Going back to Ezekiel 9 and 4, those men that were marked, they were just men in the midst of wickedness. So Lot was delivered from that destruction, and the men that Ezekiel 9 and 4 is talking about, they also going to be exempt from judgment or exempt from that destruction. Let's get 2 Peter 2 and 6. It's turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, because this is a spiritual Sodom. This is a spiritual Gomorrah. These are also the days of Noah, as I read in verse 5. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them a sample unto those that after shall live ungodly. And the same thing is going to happen to Babylon the Great, aka America. It's going to be a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to be turned into ashes. It's going to be condemned, and it's going to burn for a very long time as an example of the wickedness of this world being destroyed. It says, deliver just Lot, vexed. So vexing is another way of oppressed, of sighing and crying. He was vexed. He was oppressed by the imbalances and injustices of the wickedness around him. Just as we are, man. The unfairness of all the things that we got to go through. It gets very vexing at times. It gets like I said, man. It gets so vexing and so you get so pissed off, man, and frustrated that sometimes it brings you to tears, man. It brings you to tears, the shit that you have to go through, and because that things not supposed to be this way. It says, for that righteous man will deliver just Lot back with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man joining among them, and seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. So just as we read in Ezekiel 9:4, let's go ahead and get back to that. Setting a mark or an exemption from judgment upon the foreheads or the minds of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. And to the other he said in my hearing, go ye after him to the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon who is the mark. So even young children are going to get it, man. Young children that have that wicked mentality. You know, and what does the scripture say about Esau? He said that he comes out the womb speaking lies. So even these little Edomite children, they're going to get it, man. These little Edomite babies, they're going to get it. You know, and also 2/3 of our people. You know, because 2/3 of our people, they're the wicked, they're the rebellious, stiff-necked Israelites coming back in the reincarnation. It says, and come not near. So the men of the Lord are gonna have a hedge of protection around them in that day. We're gonna have the compassion and mercy of the Lord, man. Most High willing, we are those men. It says, come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And really broke down that word mark, exempt from judgment, and begin in my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So this speaks of a hedge of protection against those that are not with the abominations, the sin, the wickedness, the unfairness, the imbalance, the injustices of this world, man. Because the Lord's all about balance, man. He's all about fairness. You know, he is. You go to Ezekiel, you go to Exodus, the 22nd chapter. Go ahead and get that real quick. As an example that the Lord, he's about the right thing being done. He demands fairness and equality. And in this world that we live right now, you can't find a shred of fairness or equality. This world is in a great imbalance. The wicked are in rulership. The woman is over a man. You know, and so on and so forth, man. This world is in a great imbalance. But what you got to understand, the Lord is all about balance. He's all about fairness. He's all about things being done right and in order and correctly. Because if you read through these laws in Exodus, the 22nd chapter, it's all about everybody doing things correctly and in a fair manner. There's different laws for different situations. I'm not going to go through all of them. But pretty much the point I'm trying to make is that the Lord, He's all about fairness. He's all about balance. He's all about righting the wrong. And that's what's going to happen when it comes to Judge's place. He's going to right the wrong. He's gonna correct the imbalance. He's gonna put justice on the injustice. You know, so these are laws. It's Exodus 22nd chapter. That the man that you walk upright, that you walk in uprightness and integrity to your fellow man. You know, Psalm the 25th chapter. You know, my favorite verse in that Psalms is let integrity and uprightness preserve me. Because that's really all we got, man. That's the thing we have of most value in this truth. Integrity and uprightness. That's what Job was known for. He was known for integrity and uprightness. So the Lord's all about correcting the wrong, man. He's all about making things correct. He's all about balance. Scripture says the false balance abomination to the Lord. Go ahead and get that. So that's what we cry and sigh about, man. We sigh about the false balance, the injustice that we have to go through with the wicked in rulership. Proverbs 11:1, a false balance, abomination to the Lord. It's an abomination, man. Let's get that word abomination. It's properly something disgusting. It's disgusting. It abhors him. A disgusting thing. Abomination, abominable, ritual sense unclean. It says wickedness. He finds it disgusting, man. Let's get that word disgusting in the Webster 1828. This is the word disgusting. Going back to one of the definitions of the word abomination in the Webster's 1828 dictionary. It says provoking aversion, offending the taste, provoking dislike, odious, hateful, a disgusting servility. So the Lord, he hates false balance. He hates injustice. He hates Salak. He hates injustice. And he's going to set those things right, man. And just like we hate injustice, we hate imbalance, we hate the fashion of this world. Those were the men that sighed and cried. That's what they were sighing and crying about, man. The false balance, the injustice, the unfairness of this wicked ass system. That's what Lot was sighing and crying about. That's what the men of the Lord sigh and cry about, man. Let's get Isaiah 57 and 15. I don't want to make this lesson too long, so real quick here at the plantation once again. It's Isaiah 57. I think it's 15. And it says, for thus says the high and lofty one, that my habit is eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the holy place. And with him thou was a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and revive the heart of the contrite ones. And if you in this society, man, you're gonna be contrite. If you gotta deal with all this bullshit and you have the understanding of the truth, you're gonna be contrite, man. You're gonna be, I think contrite is another word for sadness, or you're gonna be contrite, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be vexed. All those things are synonymous with each other. But the Lord's gonna he's gonna restore us back to a joyful place, man. If I will not contend forever, neither always be wroth. For the spirit shall fail before me, and the soul which I have made. For the iniquity of his countenance was I wroth, and smote him, I hid me, and was wroth when unfolding the way of his heart. Well, that's the point I wanted to get, that the Lord's going to create, that was in verse 15. The Lord's gonna set things back in order for those that sigh and cry, for those that are contrite of heart. Because if you sighing and crying, then you and contrite and you're humble in spirit, just like it said in verse 15. So the Lord's gonna, yeah, man, that's what we're waiting for, man. Brothers, we can't stand another fucking day here, man. We the sooner the better. Sometimes it seems like every day just gets worse and worse, man. Your own personal situation. But we understand that these are things that gotta go through. These are things that gotta play its course for prophecy to be fulfilled. But we still know that there's going to be hope. That's all we got, really. We're bound by hope. The scriptures call us prisoners of hope. And sometimes it gets vexing at times, man. But we understand there's an end to all these things. But with that being said, it's a real quick lesson. Most I wouldn't hope it was edifying. Instead, I want to give all the glory and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.